Hello. Welcome to the weekly Top 10 Solar Energy News brought to you by Solarika, the online community dedicated to solar energy. According to the Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency IREDA, the Jawaharlal Nehru National Solar Mission JNNSM initiative has so far commissioned 255 megawatts of PV capacity as well as 2.5 megawatts of CSP under Batch 1 of the first phase of its program. JNNSM will also commission an additional 38 megawatts of PV and 497.5 megawatts of CSP under Batch 1, as well as 350 megawatts of PV under Batch 2. Of the 255 megawatts of PV commissioned, the IREDA reveals that 125 megawatts has been commissioned under the large-scale PV sub-program in 25 projects, 81.55 megawatts in the rooftop PV and small solar power generation program, and a further 48 megawatts in the JNNSM's migration scheme. Take-up in the CSP domain has been slower, with just one 2.5 megawatts project having been commissioned out of a possible 500 megawatts. Following recommendations published in an independent report conducted by Victorian Competition and Efficiency Commission (VCEC), the Victorian Coalition Government has announced that it will introduce a new and fairer feed-in tariff for rooftop solar. According to the VCEC report, over-generous feed-in tariffs to new solar customers would result in all Victorians paying higher bills to subsidise households with rooftop PV systems. As a result, the VCEC recommended establishing a feed-in tariff which is sustainable, predictable and free from cross-subsidies. Moreover, the rate set will be Australian 8 cents per kilowatt-hour in 2013 for excess power exported to the grid. This is despite VCEC's recommendation of a rate of between 6 cents and 8 cents. The rate will be updated every year in line with the adjusted wholesale electricity rate. According to Hellenic Transmission System Operator HTSO, Greece has installed an additional 75 megawatt of PV in July, which brings its total amount of installed PV capacity in the first 6 months of the year to 319 megawatts. This was a slight drop compared to last month, when statistics showed that the country installed a total of 97 megawatt in PV capacity. It is also predicted that the newly installed PV capacity in Greece will reach in the range of 600 to 700 megawatts for the whole of 2012. After installing a record amount of PV in the first half of the year, the latest figures released by the German federal network agency Bundesnetzagentur showed that Germany installed 543 megawatts of PV capacity in July 2012. This compares to 572 megawatts in the corresponding month 1 year earlier. Installation figures show that there were more than 12,000 PV installations in the country in July. These positive figures may have been spurred by Germany's new feed-in tariff, which introduces monthly tariff digressions. In total, Germany has installed around 4.9 gigawatts of new PV capacity this year, a record amount. In the same 7-month period 1 year earlier, just 2.3 gigawatts of PV was installed. Overall, Germany now has more than 29 gigawatts of installed PV capacity, making it one of the leading European countries in solar power. A new solar technology developed by researchers at RTI International could make solar energy more affordable, and thus speed up its market adoption. The RTI solar cells are formed from solutions of semiconductor particles, known as colloidal quantum dots, and can have a power conversion efficiency that is competitive to traditional cells at a fraction of the cost. These cells have achieved greater than 5% efficiency in demonstration tests. RTI states it expects to achieve better efficiencies by using techniques to enhance light absorption, and notes that the cells were created using low-cost materials and processing techniques. Solar 3D has unveiled a working three-dimensional silicon solar cell, which the company states produces at least 250% of the power of a basic silicon solar cell. Dr. Chen Wen-sun, Solar 3D's Director of Technology, commented, "When measured relative to a conventional solar cell design, our working prototype produces electricity beyond our previous expectations. First, we fabricated our working prototype. Then we created a simple cell based on the conventional design, using the same fabrication environment, to serve as a control sample. Sun continued, by measuring the side-by-side power output of both cells, we were able to determine the relative performance under a number of conditions, ranging from bright sunlight to lower, diffuse light. In each test, our 3D solar cell consistently outperformed the control cell and produced at least 2.5 times the amount of electricity under the same conditions. Solarika announced that its TRIEX solar technology has reached greater than 21% conversion efficiency at the company's high-volume manufacturing facility. TRIEX is a hybrid solar module that combines crystalline silicon N-type substrates, thin film passivation layers and a unique tunneling oxide layer in a single module. Solarika is shipping commercially to its first customers and holds a 250 megawatt pipeline of agreements in Europe, the US and China. Solarika's TRIEX technology is the first offering that couples high efficiency, high yield and scalable, cost-effective production, which will result in the next wave of profitable cost reduction for all players along the PV value chain. TSMC Solar Limited Taichung, Taiwan announced this week that it has produced 14.2% efficient copper-indium gallium diselenide CIGS solar photovoltaic PV modules at its research and development and pilot production line at its facility in Taiwan. The company has begun the IEC and UL certification processes for these modules, and expects to make them commercially available in early 2013. TSMC Solar also reports that its current production of PV modules are consistently achieving 13% efficiency, and has upgraded its CIGS series product line to 130 to 140 watt nameplate ratings. According to IMS Research's latest The World Market for Microinverters and Power Optimizers 2012 report, microinverters and power optimizers represent the fastest growing photovoltaic inverter segment. In 2011, it reports, shipments grew by 180% and revenues 160% to reach $200 million. Meanwhile, this year, the UK-based research company predicts shipments will increase by over 70% to reach nearly 900 megawatts of capacity. Germany-based Manz AG has announced its CIGS thin-film photovoltaic panels have reached an efficiency of 14.6% in production conditions. The company adds that it will be able to supply power costing as little as 4 euro cents per kilowatt-hour in the future. The news has been certified by TV Rhineland. Having already achieved an efficiency of 20.3% in the lab, the company is confident further gains can be made. Out of all thin film technologies, CIGS has the greatest potential to further increase efficiency rates and cut costs, it says in a statement released.